Okay, so let me give you a little tidbit when you're laying out your fabric and you're running out of room on your cutting table. I'm going to show you a trick that my mother used to show me. So we still have more pieces to lay out on our fabric to cut out. What you can do is to save space is you can fold over your pinned down pieces, and as you're folding it over and you're pulling your fabric up, guess what? You're going to have more room on your cutting table. Now I can take the remainder pieces that I have left, lay it out on my fabric, and continue to pin and cut all our pieces. And we're going to start with piece number 1. And number 1 in the instructions on the pattern state for view B, C, or D, it says make a 5/8 seam allowance, narrow hem at upper side edges of pocket 1. So get your piece number 1, and you want to do 5/8 all the way around. You're going to stitch it all the way around, and then you go to the next instructions. So this is how it looks when you are starting to pin and fold. What you want to do is when you're pinning and folding is you want to use your iron as a tool. So what I did was you get your seam gauge, get your ruler, your sewing gauge, and find out where your 5/8 mark is at, and you can just take that, measure all the way around. I use a little bit of tailor's chalk to make my mark so I can know. Fold it over, press it with your iron like I did and pin it, so everything can be nice, neat, and precise. So you want to do that with both pieces on your number 1 pocket fold. Okay, per instructions, we are on now number 3. It says pin pocket to front number 2. So grab your piece number 2, matching symbols, etched it along pressed edges as shown. All right, so we were right here and we're going to do that. Grab piece number 2 and grab your pocket piece. Okay, here's my piece number 2. Okay, here's piece number 2 laid out per instructions. Make sure you transfer all your marking. So it was 4 dots that you should have transferred over. I used pins just because I have designs in my fabric and it's kind of hard to see. So what you want to do is grab your pocket piece and place it and match your notches from your pocket pieces right to there. Okay, this is how it should look. Okay, this is how it should look. Now, remember when you're stitching, you want to leave this open because this is where your hands are going to go through. So you want to stitch around the top, leave this open, go down to the sides, stitch all through the bottom, leave your opening because that's where your hand is going to go through. So I will stitch this and I will show you the finished results after it's stitched. Okay, so now we pinned the pocket to the front piece number 2. So just be careful when you're starting to sew. You want to make sure you only have the front piece with the pocket. You don't want to have the front and back piece connected. So make sure it's nice and clean. Take your pins out as you go, and you're just going to basically do a top stitch. When you start sewing, make sure you go back on the corners and just go straight down, nice, neat, and slow if you're a novice. Okay, remember also, we're leaving the openings for our hands to fit in, right in that area. All right, here it goes. Going really nice and slow. I have my needle in a down position, and also I still have my seam guide underneath all the fabric just to make sure that I still sew in a straight line. So I'm able to hold the fabric and just keep stitching down really slow. Put your seam gauge there if you have one, or seam guide, whatever you call it, so you can keep doing that straight nice line, and it can be even and crisp. 5/8 of an inch, 1/4, whatever the instructions is telling you to do. I'm just going really close to the edge right here and just going all the way across. should have your pocket stitched on. And now we're going to 4, which is all views. It says stitch front 2 to back 3. So grab your piece number 3. And we're going to stitch at the shoulder seams. Remember to match all your notches. Make sure you transferred all your markings. And then, of course, leave your opening for your arm. So we're going to stitch across, and we're going to stitch all the way down. And this represents the pocket that we just stitched on. So once I do that, then we'll come back and we should have our garment sooner than later. At this point, if you want to try your garment on once you stitched 2 to 3 to make sure it fits right, if you need to make any adjustments, this is the best time to do it at this point. Put our pocket on, I want you to go and stay stitch your whole entire neckline all the way across. And remember your notches that you cut out, okay? I've already done mine. Do that next, and then we're going to grab the hood. We're going to fold the hood over to the fold line and just stitch that down.